spiders mean secrets. Hi, I'm Jason Russell from Critical Dice, and welcome to the Fabled 42, where we build community through friendship, gaming, and chaos. You're watching the Duke City Chronicles. We're back! Yay! It's a Monster of the Week game set in my hometown of Albuquerque, New Mexico, because I have to change very little because this town is a buck wild place. You can watch us live on twitch.tv/Fable42 Friday nights at 6 p.m. Eastern or 3 p.m. Pacific. I almost forgot the times. Yeah, we're back after a little hiatus of like sickness and people moving and travel and all that kind of stuff. So we are back. We're going to start our giveaway right now. Exclamation point critical to enter into that for a set of dice from Critical Dice. Hey, that's me. If you haven't already liked the channel, go ahead and do that. If you have a free subscription from Amazon Prime, you could use it anywhere, but we sure would like it if you used it here. With that, let's go ahead and do our character player intros as traditional. Let's start with Bridget.
Hi guys, we missed you. I'm Bridget, and oh golly, how do I even introduce myself? You can find me on the internet on TikTok and Instagram at string_theories_. I play Suki Buchanan. She is a 70-year-old heavily tattooed art professor at the University of New Mexico, and she talks back to the dead for a living. Got it.
Nailed it one. Like an old comfortable pair of slippers. Stax, let's have you go next.
Hello, everybody. I am Stax, also known as the Judgy DM on all the socials. I am playing Gates, also known as GW. Or Jeffrey Wallace Gates II, his title name. And he's from the Monsters Playbook. So basically, I get to do a bunch of intangible things and like arm extendy things. And now I'm kind of like mind merged with a passenger that's in my brain, but we won't talk about that just yet.
Yeah, it's not fit for polite company. And let's have you go next.
Howdy, my name's Anne. You can find me on Dusty Wings Illustration on the gram. Otherwise, my show is on Mondays. It's Crypt Creatures. I am the DM there. But I play Fiona. She's your just average demon lady from the Spellslinger playbook.
Nice, just average demon lady. You know. And GW.
Hey y'all, what's up? I'm GW. You can find me on IG and Twitter under GW005, 2 B's, 2 zeros. I am the team's Divine Playbook, Quavon Whispers, and the team's angsty, edgy Angel Boy.
There it is. There it is. And I'm Jason Russell. You can find me at Critical Dice on Instagram and Heaven Help Us TikTok. And I think that's everything. We're back. We're doing it. Let's go ahead and get into our intro video, and then I'll give a quick recap for everyone because we all perfectly remember what happened a while ago. So with that, let's get into the show.
It's an amazing place. Most people have no idea where it is, but we're okay with that. We've got mountains, rivers, deserts, and over 300 days of sunshine, and some of the most diverse and wonderful people you'll ever meet. It's a great place to live, and I definitely encourage you to try it. But we also have our dark side, our own ghosts, secrets, and legends. Most of them are true. For thousands of years, people have been living here and dying here. This is Albuquerque, but it goes by many names. The 505, the Burke, my favorite is the Duke City. These are the Duke City Chronicles.
Previously on the Duke City Chronicles, the team made a deal with Sunny to get a couple of things that they really needed. Gates was able to have a more integrated agreement with the alien passenger inside of him because of a spell with Fiona. And Gates also picked up a shadow blade with Sunny at the pawn shop, which is kind of fun. They went to go pick up Chet. On their way to go see the Sisters Weird, Chet was forcefully checking himself out of the hospital after the explosion at the base a few episodes back. He jumped into the car in nothing but a dressing gown and gave some important information on the way to the hair salon, Hair It Is, to see the Sisters Weird. Saying that the reason he thinks that Maxwell stole the body of Avi was to use his artificial intelligence processing unit to figure out probabilities for future reality changes. They also figured out that Chet could probably triangulate the location of the shade if he's still using the Faraday cages that Chet built all those months ago, and also that there may be some big disagreements that could be exploitable between Maxwell and the Shade. They arrived at the hair salon, got in through various means, and through spooky vision, TM, and some magic from Fiona, they were able to see that the Sisters Weird, all three were being elevated into a wall slowly as they were catatonic and mumbling. And that is where we begin our episode. And so, Suki, you can see all three of the sisters, the old woman with the blue hair, the middle-aged woman with the green hair, and the young woman with the red hair, are almost being woven into the wall itself. But it's more than just the sheetrock and paint. It almost looks like it's reality itself. And they have their eyes rolled up into the back of their heads, and they are mumbling either gibberish or an incantation or something as they are here about 2 feet up from the floor, kind of honestly looking restrained in more than one way. What would you guys like to do?
Could I roll my Destiny's Plaything?
Absolutely.
Weird, just to see if that helps with any of this. Okay, new dice. 9. Not bad.
9. On a 7 to 9, you get a vague hint. So to see what is revealed about your immediate future. A vague hint. There are not a lot of people who could do this to the Sisters Weird. You guys have long suspected, because you often talk about them this way, that they might be the Fates. Other people have suggested that they're the 3 witches from Macbeth. You're not sure if any or both of those things are true, but if that is true, it would take an immense amount of power. As to why someone would want to do this, well, if the Sisters Weird are the Fates and they're operating here in town, they sure are a wild card you would want to be out of the picture if you were up to something sus. Does that help?
I think so.
Yeah.
I know somebody who likes toying with fate.
Yes, you do.
Quickly, I'm gonna cast a shield bubble around us, just real quick.
That's great. I love that. Yes.
Just in case, because I know us.
You've met us. Yes.
You know us.
Oh wow, I fucked it up though.
Did you?
Yeah, I got a 4.
Oh.
4. Yeah.
Wait, 4, 5, 6, 7.
5, 6, 7. A 7 total. Okay. Yeah. It is a glitch. So you're basically trying to keep what out with this bubble?
Any ongoing attacks or spells? Anything
Okay.
that can latch
Yeah.
onto us?
Yeah. And what glitch do you want?
Oh, gosh.
Weakened, short duration. You take 1 harm, ignore armor, draws immediate unwelcome attention, which, by the way, was the glitch of the last spell you did just a few moments ago. And it has a problematic side effect. You can pick one of those.
I'll take 1 harm.
1 harm? Okay.
Oh,
yeah.
Baby.
Mm-hmm. And so this is going to be, I think the shield is physical, but also at the same time skews towards the magic, portfolio a little bit more than normal. I think given the what you said and the situation we have here. So yeah, so that makes sense.
Mhm.
Yeah, no problem. All right, go Suki, you were saying.
I'm gonna try to touch one of them. Like, can I just reach out and touch the nearest sister to me just to
Mhm.
see if I don't know, can see what they see, or if something happens,
Ooh,
if
I
they
like
wake up.
that. Yeah,
Yeah,
so
I guess that would be technically my sight.
yeah, I think what would happen is this is so you reach out your hand into the nearest one. This would be the green-haired woman in the middle. Uh, and as you kind of like touch a foot that's just kind of barely still poking out of the wall, all three of their heads that are kind of like looking straight ahead, almost up a little bit. The eyes are rolled back, so it's all whites. All three of them just look down and focus on you, but their pupils are still missing. It's just all white, and the mumbling continues, but you do think that they are aware of your presence.
Okay. I'm gonna keep hold of the foot.
Mm-hmm.
Sisters, if you can hear me, we're gonna get you out of this. And Maxwell, if you're looking through their eyes, we're gonna come and get your ass. Is there any way that I like? Did they react to that at all? Like when I either called out their names or Maxwell's name?
No, other than them, clearly you have their attention. There's no effect from like, calling out the big bad or anything like that. They just are continuing on their path of kind of incomprehensible kind of catatonic states.
Hmm. Uh, can I try to tug on the foot to see if it comes out of the wall?
Yeah, so you pull on it, and I don't think it has really any give. Um, that I think as you're now closer to it, you can see that it's not just that they're embedded in the sheetrock. It's like reality itself. They're suffused with their surroundings. They're not just being held. They're bonded really with it.
Hmm. Um.
I try to break it.
I was gonna say, I was like, should
Can
we
I
cut
like
them out?
diffuse it somehow with big magic?
Yeah, let's yeah, man, that is a possibility. Let's do this. Let's have everybody investigate a mystery.
Okay.
Yeah, I think this is probably going to be what we're looking at here.
Not bad at all.
Gosh, my rolls today, you guys. It's not a good sign.
Baby.
Can you remind me, Keeper,
Mhm.
what stat is that?
Sharp.
Sharp. Thank you.
Mhm.
I,
Yeah,
I
roll
have
plus
my
sharp.
I have my number.
Okay, what'd you get, Q?
9.
9. Okay.
Haha, I got a 10.
It's not a competition.
It is when it's life or death.
Q, you
Life
can
or
hold
death, Q.
1. Gates, you hold 2. Suki, how'd you do?
11.
11, you can hold 2.
Nice.
And for you, Fiona?
7.
7,
Oh.
hold 1. Okay. Let's do this to give Suki a little more time to think. Gates, what are you doing, or what do you want to do as you kind of are in this scene?
So I guess seeing them kind of like merge with the wall area, my first instinct would be to kind of go intangible and see if they're, I don't know if I would be able to see inside the wall, but like go into the wall and see if their bodies are in there or if they're just like the wall now, like if they.
Interesting. So to me, that feels like a kind of what's being concealed here.
Yes.
Yeah. And I think normally you wouldn't be able to see while you're in the wall, but you do have that magic vision on that Fiona cast earlier last episode. And I think here what you can see is that as you go through the wall, their bodies don't continue through. It's almost like kind of cut. But you can see that there is like almost a magic residue, almost like a surrounding the vague shapes of them in the wall there, that is not it's not a foreign magic. Each of the kind of like almost like portals, right? But it's more like an aura. Each has a color corresponding to one of the three sisters, blue, green, and red, that matches their hair color. Yeah. Anything else, or you want to hold on to that?
I'm gonna hold on to my second one.
All right, great. Suki, you can hold. I'm going to go last for you, Suki. Actually, Q.
It's okay.
You hold one. Anything?
And this,
because it could be about the sisters or the building or just the larger situation. It doesn't have to be focused on this one freaky thing happening.
At the moment, I have nothing.
Okay, that's fine. And what were you going to do, Fiona?
Well, my question was going to be what can hurt it, but for the magic specifically.
Yeah, I like that. What can hurt it? So you're thinking more like this effect. What can hurt this effect?
Yeah, like what? My goal is to disperse the magic in a way where it doesn't harm anybody else, and including the three sisters. So.
I think after you kind of study this a little bit, I think that your first instinct that you mentioned before about big magic is that it would have to be big magic, because knowing what you kind of suspect about the nature of these beings, and also looking at the kind of reality warping effect that's being done here, it would be big magic. And so in order to hurt this, you would either have to stop the source, or you would have to do a big magic move. And I think that you would know that what you would need is you would need two other spellcasters of similar power as you. So two more people. So you and two, and that you would have to know the right incantation. And that's not something that is easily known. This is kind of a weird custom like thing that's happening. It's not like petrification. You're like, oh, okay, there's like 3 or 4 different kind of, de-petrification spells out there that you could probably look at. This is something that's really kind of different, and that's part of why you would need 2 other people to kind of probably consult with, but also to make something like this work, to have enough power.
Okay.
So that's what could hurt it.
Seeing that the sisters are like kind of like shaven off at the base of the wall, can I ask, where did it go, and kind of tap into my knowledge and maybe Eubank's knowledge of like when I went to the Shadow Realm that one time? Like, is this more of they've been partially dispersed somewhere else?
That's really good.
Or
yeah, that's really, really good. And I think that makes sense for what your character can do. I think Gates, I think as you're thinking about it, and you're even feeling like some more almost cognitive assistance from Eubank in a way that's less like there's more, the membrane between the two of you is more porous now. And you're kind of thinking and going, yeah, it's not this, and you're halfway through thinking about different scenarios when you realize that 1 or 2 of them were things that you haven't personally experienced, and you're like, oh, okay, that's cool. You're like, yeah, it's not like it was back in 76, not 83. You're like, I wasn't alive then. What? And you don't think that the missing parts of their bodies are being shunted to a different dimensional space, which is kind of what you were suggesting with like the Shadow Ward. But rather, you think that maybe they're being integrated into this dimension. That if they are personifications of fate, and there's strong evidence to think that someone is unraveling these manifestations by basically putting them back into the threads in the weave of probability and fate of our world. So someone is where did it go? They're going back into the world itself and are basically being pushed out of manifestation. That is what's happening. Miss Suki.
I think my first question is going to be what happened here, but I would like to possibly like use my telepathy to try to like see what they're seeing, or like why are they like this? Like I want to tap into them as because my telepathy and my sight, like I deal with fate stuff. I see things ahead of time. So I would love to use like my telepathy or my sight to sort of like be like, I am one of you. What are you seeing? Like
Roll plus
our
weird.
magic looks cute together. So my magic
is
cute
very
with you.
sympathetic to their nature. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. That's a 12.
I love it so much when a plan comes together.
They're my friends.
Suki, you reach into their minds and you immediately feel almost a party line kick on, but way more intense than normal, as all three of them, as their lights in their eyes click on, and you are seeing what they see. And it's a rush of film, and like someone's backing up through a montage, and you see, much like how your old visions used to work, you see them in the shop that you're in now, and one of them is cutting someone's hair and they pay and they leave. Another person is sweeping. The girl with the red hair is bringing some supplies from the back, and all of a sudden they freeze, and one of them pushes the air with a hand that's glowing, and you can see that there's like this almost like ball of yarn that's invisible that lights up for a moment in white, slowly closing around them, and they all rush together and hold hands, and they start to chant, and they lift up off of the ground as they're fighting back. You can feel like see this like energy pushing this ever closing, tightening ball of threads around them back and forth. And the oldest one with the blue hair says, "There's only one way." And the one with the green hair says, "It's a risk." And the one with the red hair says, "I think she's up for the task." And they concentrate, and through a gap in the threads, a single mote of energy from all three of them combine and shoot out through it. And at that moment of distraction, their concentration is broken, and the threads concentrate and throw them into this wall that they're in. And it's the same time frame, you realize, is when you had that crazy vision when you were on the mountaintop, and for the first time one of those tarot cards became physical. You think that they placed a piece of their combined essence into you, which is why your visions changed, which is why you had a tarot card all of a sudden, and your powers have been getting stronger and more different. They could sense that they were about to be taken off the board, and in a way chose you as an agent when they could not be active. Suki, you don't get to hold two, but you can ask me any one question as though you had investigated mystery as an improved ability. And what it says on the sheet, just to help you out, is that in advanced, you may ask the keeper any question you want about the mystery. not just the ones listed.
Damn. Clairvoyance, bitch.
The power you're giving me.
Do you want to take a moment and think about it, or do you
I
want?
do,
Yeah.
because this will never happen again.
Q, you still have a
I
hold
just
one.
imagine Suki just like just like quiet,
Peering
staring
into
out.
the universe.
Yeah, like that very common like 1,000-yard stare, like you stare off in middle distance. She can see the curvature of the earth right now. Like it's like she's having like people talk about having a religious moment. She's having a religious moment, like, and possibly one of the truest senses of the phrase. Q, you still have a hold one while Bridget gets to think about it here. Anything you want to do just for the sake of passing around the microphone, as it were?
Sure. Did we already ask what sort of creature it is?
I think with the information sharing, maybe this is a little anticlimactic, but absolutely this is a Maxwell joint. And it also gives you an indication of the power levels here, that he is pretty dang strong to be able to do something like this, but at the same time, they're not completely gone. He was aware of their presence, tried to take them off the board, and it worked well enough. But I think it would also occur to you that this is kind of a chess move, where he's getting rid of the queen on the other side, and he may have also removed some other pieces from the board that might have caused him to be stymied in other places. I mean, he tried to take you guys off the board, but there may have been other methods. So absolutely Maxwell, but I think it gives you an insight into maybe some of his preparational methodology.
I see.
Does that help?
It does.
Okay.
It does. I think Q was just kind of standing there in kind of focused silence, kind of going through the list of things in his head as to what could possibly be done, and just kind of giving Suki and Fiona some space, since they are more heavily in the supernatural and have like a more of an understanding of it than I do.
Yeah.
So I'm just kind of standing by and preparing myself for anything that would dare jump out at us.
Yeah, absolutely. And that bubble's still up too, which is really good. And by the way, Suki, when you did this, you stepped out of the bubble to touch the foot. But it's porous to you guys. You guys can go in and out like a tiny hut in D&D. Suki, if you don't already have your question, I will also let you know you can consult the brain trust here. You can ask your fellow players what they think would be a good idea, unless you know what you want to do.
I think I would like to talk to my friends, because I'm not the decider. We work by committee, so can I pop my head out of this fate?
Well, we can erase the meta rune and let you guys talk a second.
There's a meta rune. I knew it.
So
we were doing real good too. I'm proud of us.
I have been gifted infinite power. And it's freaking me out. Good. No one should ever want this.
Yeah. Imagine if you weren't freaked out by that. And also, I'm not sure that's what you were given, but go ahead.
I've been given limited infinite power. So my instinct, but I don't want to ask like a game breaker question, but I think that we should ask how to beat Maxwell. What's his weakness? Because like that's the Macbeth thing that you said, like that these are the weird sisters from Macbeth. that whole like no man born of woman will slay Macbeth thing, I feel like they would know something like that. And I think that would be a really cool thing to have in our back pockets. Thoughts?
We would have to be close enough to it.
True. But are we not like gonna eventually go and find him? Like that's what I thought. We were gonna
True.
I feel like we
Good.
were.
go physically kick this guy's ass.
I like
I mean, we
like
have a whole move called that. It makes sense.
Yeah, that's what I was hoping to use on him.
I like that question. I like the question of how do we defeat him. I
Yeah.
personally do. What say
I
the rest
mean-
of you?
I was going to say similarly, like pretty much in the same kind of ballpark of a question, like how do we defeat him, or how do we something to the effects of like how do we stop the out of control factors from being so out of control?
Yeah.
Which if he's the chaos form of that, then how do we stop Maxwell? But I have ideas, but I would like to know if even they knew a way to stop this from happening, or if this was like a last resort kind of like pitch.
Yeah, Hail Mary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I am concerned over his power. I mean, these fates are like this for a reason. I feel like if we are to approach him, we would need some form of artillery, whether we know what it is or not. After witnessing it firsthand, I don't think it's worth the risk just going up to him without something else, someone else. I can free them, I think, but I need help. I can't do it by myself.
Oh, I can help with that if you need. I got like whammies and stuff.
Yeah, I don't think she is a magic user of appropriate level, based on what I said before.
That's an awkward thing to
How
say
dare
to her.
you? How dare you?
Actually,
Like, oh, did I hit the private chat microphone button? Sorry.
Yeah, oh, no. The GIF button. Oh no.
Yeah. I mean, Sunny would be, but that's only one.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm not that caliber. I shoot first and use whammies later.
Well, since that's been kind of brought up, who would we think would be a third? I mean, the one thing that the person that comes to mind is that the witch who tried to take the uranium and like we ended up getting blown back to the past. But
Oh, yeah.
who knows where she is?
Doris
Payne.
Doris.
Um.
Yeah,
Oh,
Another demon homie.
maybe what's his
Yeah.
name? What's his name? Oh, but no, if Sunny's involved, then I was thinking,
Oh yeah.
what's that guy's name? Albus? No, not Albus.
Oh, Ambrose.
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 I would think old little boy got some power, but that's just my thought. I don't know.
Fiona, you think he would be powerful enough? The only thing we've ever said out loud about him and magic and things is that he's the heir of Merlin. And I think you would know a bit more about that. Well, that's
So he's, like, into magic.
We never talked about that ever.
I'm just,
never
now
pulls
remembering,
coins out
I'm
of
just now
people's ears?
remembering that I only put that in a private chat to Anne. That's his title, not like, let me tell you his power
Oh.
suite by that phrase.
It wasn't his cousin. Yeah.
Yeah. It's the mantle he wears. It's the title he has. Like, Lord Protector of the Realm. That's not a playbook. That's just what they're called, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, he would be a good candidate as well.
Yeah, and I say that, and I'm wondering if we can't find another person, if I can combine, Gates, Suki, and Q's power as well. So it's like 5 against this network of magic.
So I'm hearing 2 possible questions.
Yes.
How do we defeat Maxwell, and how do we free you?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And those are very different paths.
Right.
Yeah. Well, personally, I'm pretty confident that we could get Ambrose and Sunny to help us.
I'm not
It's artillery for sure.
because I mean I don't know the exact structure of how it has to work. I'm just assuming they have to all be in the same place. And since Sunny is hunting where Ambrose sleeps, I feel like that's not a great mix.
Oh, right.
Yeah, I was going to remind you of that if you've forgotten, but yeah, that's
It's probably not great. So I think we should go with how we defeat Maxwell, because we can already see that these three fates have already accepted anything that they saw coming their way. So,
and if anything tries to attack Sunny, it's my obligation to protect him.
Right.
so
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I agree. I think we should find out the Maxwell question and then sort of work on the people question second.
let's do it.
All right.
Okay.
I have an
I'm
idea
gonna,
about the people question. So yeah.
Okay. Perfect. So she's gonna back into the vision. Great talking to y'all.
Reinscribing the meta room.
Thanks so much, Vice. They just pop back in real quick. Yeah, so I will look to the Sisters Weird and be like, please tell us how we can defeat the man who did this to you and who has been messing with our time-space continuums.
Magic is a fragile thing. And Maxwell has borrowed his power. Magic requires three things: power, focus, and intention. His power comes from the ley lines that lay beneath the trestle. The focus is the constructed brain of your friend. The intention is the man Maxwell himself. Remove any of these one pieces, and his borrowed power will be gone.
Thank you so much, sisters. We promise we'll get you out of here, okay?
And the light in their eyes goes dark. Their heads go back to their original position, and the mumbling stops, and they appear to be, let's say, inert, alive, still present, but no more of that mumbling, no more motion. And in your hand, Suki, is another of the tarot cards. And you can look at the picture I sent you in your Discord.
Finally.
It is the card, the Tower. And, not Fiona, Anne, could you please, as our resident expert, could you please tell us a little bit about the Tower?
The Tower is the importance of strong foundation. So building your life up on a weak foundation, if one piece is pulled off, the whole thing, your whole life can fall apart. Or you would anticipate that or feel like it's falling apart.
Yes. And I'll put in our Discord chat here too, the kind of keywords that I pulled from online, since I'm not an expert: misery, distress, indignant, adversity, calamity, disgrace, deception, and ruin. It is a card of unforeseen catastrophe.
Terrible card to draw. You're doing
it's a bad time.
It's a bad time.
And the image on the card, Gates, as you look at it, it looks just like the trestle that you were at when you came out of the shadow and interacted with the shade.
Oh no.
Oh no.
So we are now at the parlor room scene of all parlor room scenes. You know who, you know what, maybe some of how. What's the plan to take down Maxwell?
Okay, so we either get rid of the ley lines under the trestle, which I don't think we're able to do, take out Avi, which I think we're more able to do, or take out Maxwell himself. He is just a man. He's a very powerful man, but you know, even if you shoot Voldemort in the head, you still shot Voldemort in the head, you know? So we could take him out bodily, but since he's sort of coursed with all that power, it's a little bit more of a risk to go after Maxwell's physical form because we don't know, because he probably has a backup plan. Let's be perfectly honest, he rearranges time. So I think our plan is possibly to get Avi either away from him, take Avi's brain. I like Avi a lot, but worst case scenario, we could break his brain. You know, we could make him a new one.
Fiona looks to Gates, who's like a medical student. I'm like, can you operate on this? Can you safely remove his brain?
The machine's brain?
I don't know if that's my specialty. I mean, I could take out a brain, but like it depends on if we want to put it back in later. That might be a little bit beyond my capabilities, but
yeah.
If it came down to like saving the world, then yeah, totally, we're gonna take the brain.
I look at
Ghost hand.
I look at Suki and I'll say, well, we've broken brains before by accident. Imagine what we could do if we did it on purpose. But at the same time, Zach, if he is still working with Maxwell, may know something that we can use, especially the trestle. I'm not going to say I fully understand it, but the way you said it, Suki, it sounds like maybe we don't have to remove the ley lines underneath, but just the structure above.
That's very possible. I mean, the literal card shows the building. And, you know, the whole, like what Fiona said, when you remove one piece, the whole thing comes a tumbling down.
And if that's true, I mean, we are Team C4.
That's very true. And we do have a good amount of C4, a surprising amount for a citizen.
And we could just
For a
blow
private
things up.
citizen.
For private citizens, a concerning amount of C4 for private citizens.
I think
yeah.
maybe the best thing to do is to get Zach and use him to see if he knows how to take down the trestle, seeing that it sounds like, Gates, you saw him there. He was wrapping his wounds. So we can see.
So we're
where
just
that
calling
goes.
him like Zach now, not like Shadow Man.
Yeah.
Yeah. Shadow Man was scary. Zach is nothing.
Yeah.
He was still pretty, like, for a guy that like almost died, he was coming with the fury if we didn't get out of there. Just, I mean, you don't want to like discredit your enemies either, sort of thing.
I look forward to seeing him again, but not tonight. I'm exhausted.
Yeah, I think regardless we should head back to Sunset House, have a good night's sleep. But I agree. I mean, and didn't you say, Gates, that Zach and Maxwell have had kind of a little bit of a falling out? So maybe there's something we can do to sort of bring him to our side. I don't know. He's gonna try to kill us. First and foremostly, he's gonna try to kill us.
I'm
But
counting on it.
yeah, exactly. And now he might be in a little bit of a weakened state. I don't think he has any healing magic, right? You saw him wrap it up in bandages.
Yeah, I mean, I imagine he might heal a little bit faster, but he still was pretty roughed up.
Yeah. Gates,
Yeah.
give me a sharp roll.
10.
When you saw him bandaging himself up, he wasn't wearing that H harness that he always wears. And when you saw him later, when he shadow stepped to get you while you're trying to flee, he was wearing it. It was the only piece of clothing that had changed. You think maybe he wasn't wearing the receiver for the Faraday cages.
Well, in that case, he might have some limitations if we can separate him from that harness, maybe.
Mhm.
I can separate him from that harness. Well, I don't want to get close to him, but I have a
Uh,
shadow blade now.
I'll do it.
shadow.
Q's eyes start to burn as Gates says this, and he will say, I'll do it.
I mean, I think this is an excellent opportunity for our two sword boys to work together. Now, Gates, you don't necessarily have to get close to him well, what I'm thinking is since you can do that whole sort of static, like go through walls sort of thing, I mean, what's to say you can't hide in the trestle? My friend Quavon here sort of brings Zach towards the trestle, and you sort of reach out and snag that harness, cut it off him.
Keeper, I have my investigate a mystery question if I am allowed.
I thought you used it, but go ahead and ask.
Oh, maybe I did, didn't
I want to know the question now, though.
I'm curious.
I? Thinking of Zach's harness now, the question I wanted to ask was, what can hurt it? Like in a way as to how to cleanly remove.
Okay. I'll give you this then. Because earlier, Chet, who's still in the parking lot waiting at the Mustang,
Butt naked, right?
well, I
hard.
mean, the flaps on the back of the hospital gown don't really tie, and he was eating some curly fries.
Not enough Windex in the world to clean that
Mm-mm.
back seat. Not enough
Mm-mm.
Windex in the world.
Yeah, just get a new one. He had said that he probably could triangulate the signal if they're still using the same frequencies that they used when he built that he used when he built the original receivers. And it strikes you that he kept calling them receivers. You could break the harness off, or you could stop the signal. You could either break the Wi-Fi card or you can break the router. Both of them will keep internet from getting to your computer.
That's good to know. That's really good information. So, parlor room scene. So we can have Chet attempt to break the connection between the so-called receiver. Of course, if that doesn't work, then we'll just take it off by force.
Mhm.
But
It's good to have a backup plan.
and then after that, perhaps if everything goes according to said plan, we can use him for information for the said structure above the ley lines, the trestle.
Mhm.
Try to blow it up or try to take it down with any means necessary. And then after that, we hunt Maxwell.
I think that's a solid plan.
Yeah. I mean, you guys know how to get there. You're assuming that Zach, the Shade, is still going to be a problem. And so that's one layer of defense taken care of. And then the man himself. So, yeah, that sounds pretty good.
What do y'all think? Stacks and in. Anything to
Gates
add
will
on?
look over to
Let's do it.
Fiona. I've been thinking about something and I just wanted to put it out there. I don't know if it's gonna be possible or not, but like it sounds like we need to ask people to help us in this situation. So why don't we just get some help?
From to do.
I mean, Miss Suki, you speak to ghosts.
I do.
Fiona's like a nice, sweet demon lady. And Q, you are like glowy and stuff. But why don't we just combine all of our powers? Like Eubank, we know plenty of people, right? What happens to hunters after they retire or after they pass away? Where do they go? Let's 1-800 call them up.
I mean, it ain't a bad idea.
Oh my
Yeah.
god. Ghost X Hunters.
Oh yeah.
Fucking down.
Dax, when you kind of say that out loud to Eubank, a brief image of Win, the guy in the Winnebago, who came through town a little bit, who's a hunter that knew Riley, and also apparently Eubank back in the day when he was younger, flashes in your mind as like a, you mean like this guy?
Yeah. So, I mean, maybe we can't mess with like what did you call it? The
Ley lines?
ley lines? But maybe they can. Like, let's just hit all 3 points. So regardless, maybe something succeeds.
Yeah.
Yeah. You
Well,
get
I mean,
something.
that's not a bad idea. Like, do you guys want a comprehensive list of everyone you know that and then you can decide whether or not they're a viable option to ask for help?
I mean, it ain't a bad idea. It's always
Okay.
good to have backup options, and all those people already know we're spooky and stuff.
Yeah.
So like we don't have to explain anything.
Yeah. Episode 1, you've got Eddie, who now knows that you guys are hunters. Episode 2, you've got Detective Grant, who you haven't really interacted with since you came back from the past. Episode 3, you have Eubank, but he's already involved, and whatever else, and the magic items you got from Hibben's old bunker. Episode 4, you have Brindari, who died helping get Riley out of the Shadow Ward. So there's people in other dimensions apparently that know about this stuff. Episode 5, the only people still left would be the werewolf family, the Hernandezes, south of town. Episode 6, you're right, there is Doris Payne. No, there's Avi, but he's out of commission. Episode 7, you've got Doris Payne, but you don't know where she went. You have Hibben from the past, but he's probably out of reach. And then you also have Dave from the next episode that got attacked by the troll, but he doesn't really know what's going on.
Dave!
Yeah, where is Dave?
Bless his heart. We're Dave.
Dave
Where'd
ain't
Dave
touching us with
go?
a
You
50
eat
foot
Dave?
pole.
Yeah. Of course, there's always Chet. There's the Obsidian Order. There's Sunny. There's this Pima and Azotus, the
The
snake
snakes.
statue spirits. But that was a long time ago. And I think that might be it, other than Difna herself, but that might be even harder to reach to than Hibben from 1945. But who knows? And I think that's it.
Okay. Well, bless Eddie's heart. He's more of a liability than a help, unfortunately.
But he is an extra set of hands. Doesn't mean he has to do something dangerous.
That's true.
It could be
That's
with
true.
Chet.
Yeah, he could be little Chet's assistant, because Chet, I think we should add, he's strangely powerful. Every single time he opens his mouth, it's something surprising. So I'm deeply happy he's on our side.
And some of it's helpful.
And some of it's helpful. 75% of the time. I'm just kidding. He's very helpful. So Chet and Eddie could be, doing something, the jamming the signal. Um, Detective Grant is interesting.
I haven't really spoken to him since Riley
I haven't
got
either.
gone.
I haven't either. So I'm not sure. I mean, it would be nice to not have the cops bother us while we're doing this if we're blowing up a trestle.
Mhm.
Um,
Yeah, and
So
again, just
maybe-
because they exist doesn't mean that they would be helpful. I'm just,
Right.
Anyway.
it'd be like that's the thing. It's like I don't necessarily think we need to involve him, but
Okay.
in case the
I'll X
cops,
him out.
yeah, in case cops show up, we got a guy in the force that we can be like, don't do it. Like we're saving the world. Just keep a
Mhm.
distance. We got it. We got it.
And I feel like with all of us combined, or at least one of us has the ability to persuade him to turn a blind eye.
Yeah, I mean, every time I talk to him, he gets confused and walks away. So
The werewolf family, though they might still hate me, I'm not sure. The grandma is very nice.
Yeah.
I can definitely see them possibly helping take down the structure.
sure. Yeah, many hands make light work. If they don't, like hate us.
Mhm. Doris Payne stole the Ring of Solomon for Maxwell.
Mm.
She got pretty beat up on that job, and she might hate him now.
Yeah, but
Possibly a string.
can we trust her?
We
She's
saved her
kinda-
life.
It's true, but she's a bit of a wild card, and with that greedy of a streak, we don't really know if she won't, get her own idea in the middle of a coordinated attack.
Mm-hmm.
But she is incredibly powerful.
She is. She summoned a demon to try to take us down.
That's true.
The Obsidian Order. I think we're in good with them.
Yeah, we're in pretty good with them.
I look
I
at
mean-
Fiona.
Yeah, great. we can call them. They might already be involved somehow. Maybe they're also trying.
They knew about the interdimensional changes because they called us to
Mm-hmm.
see if anybody was around right before the thing happened. And if I'm pretty sure their magic division has some kind of heavy knowledge on this, and maybe we could use that to get them to help us out even more, since we have kind of direct knowledge from Suki being able to see between the lines, between the dimensions themselves.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean, I wouldn't mind asking to be sure. We still have the Ambrose's card.
Mm-hmm. It was under the floor mat in the Mustang.
Yeah. We can give him a
But-
call.
But Gates, are you saying that to attack all 3 points at one time, we need to be in front of Maxwell? Maxwell will, where everyone else is doing their thing at the same time, because that sounds like it would be very dangerous.
Yes, it'll be dangerous, but we also have to be careful because if we do mess with one thing, there's no telling if Maxwell might just like bloop, make us have to do it again over and over again. So if he's preoccupied, he might not have a chance to go stop all the other things.
Keeper, do we know where he's borrowing the magic from. Is he borrowing the magic straight from the ley line, or do we know?
It seems that way, yeah, straight from
Okay.
the ley line. You're not sure exactly what the method is.
Mm-hmm.
But I'll tell you this, Q, because you saw it in the map that Hibben left behind in the bunker, that there's a ley line that goes right under where the trestle is. And he did even mark its location with a question mark.
Gotcha.
Also, just to point out too, you guys don't know where Doris Payne is.
This is true, but we have a spell slinger of great power that I feel is able to locate many things.
Alternatively, Q, you might be able to teleport to her if she's around.
I was thinking that. That too.
Yeah.
So we have those options. I could try to start with, since it's easier for me, more or less, and then if that doesn't work, then we can try your magic, Fiona, and I can be your battery, and we could do the link like we've done before to amplify. So
so what
I got.
is the plan as of right now? Because you guys are like, my understanding is you guys are still in Here It Is having this conversation. Chet's waiting for you guys
the
back.
magic bubble.
Yeah,
Yeah.
in the magic bubble. Yeah,
And the fates are just staring at us like,
yeah. Well, I mean, they're like staring like in an unspecified point, like just above you with like no
Yeah.
pupils. So it's a little creepy, but you know, you guys have done worse. And yeah, Chet's outside with the car. Still, you're still at Here It Is and all of this. So, is there a course of action right now?
find
Are
some.
you trying to find
Suki,
Doris? Are you going home?
You know how you
Oh,
talk
we should
to us
sleep.
in your head?
Yeah.
Could Fiona like boost you out to contact whatever list we're making of those people?
I mean, it's a great idea. I have like, the party line plus like general telepathy. So I'm sure we could, all I have to do to like get in someone's mind is like basically think about getting into their mind. So yeah, if we make a list, I can sort of see how far I can go.
I can
If
be
that's
Wi-Fi.
possible, Keeper. I'm just like, I'm saying things with a lot of authority and I'm making up rules.
Hey, you're practically like a fate lady now, so
Yeah, I know. I'm the fourth one, the wild card,
The fate of what could be.
the 3/4 faith. 70 years old
On your three mothers' side.
on your mother's side.
points removed.
I know. No luck point for her.
Okay.
Mark experience.
Go ahead, GW.
So, plan is tomorrow, maybe not tonight, because it's
Not
been a
tonight.
very,
It's like
very,
2 a.m.
very
right now, yeah.
long
Yeah.
day.
God, it's been a long day.
We get together, Suki. We link up, and you can reach out via telepathy through our list of people to try to attempt to contact them from a safe space and see if we can get them on our side to help us out with different tasks. Once we have confirmation of said helpers, we'll put them into place. We decide who would be best with who. And after that, we divide and conquer. I'm not saying that's going to all be in one day, but we can at least have a set idea from there in deciding when to do an all-out strike.
Sounds like a plan to me.
Q, you mentioned something about Doris. Are you trying that tonight, or is that just like on the list?
It's on the list.
Okay, cool.
It's on the list.
So the plan
Today's
is now to
been
go
hard.
home and go sleep.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And hopefully Gates can patch me up a little bit so I can heal.
Yeah. I'll
my
go to
harm.
like med kit heal on the way
Yeah.
home.
Band-aids, band-aids, band-aids.
Yeah,
There's
go
a
ahead.
giant hole in my back. I mean, it would be nice. So,
Yeah, and you
having a
voluntarily
gasping
took
chest
harm
wound.
on that last spell.
Yeah, I
So
was like, no.
you guys step out of the shop onto the parking lot where Chet is still there on the hood, except he now is like standing like really straight up, and his eyes are kind of big, like looking like, "Hey guys, so everything's good? Everything, you guys got everything you need to do?"
I wouldn't classify it as good, Chat, but yeah, we're finished here.
Oh, cool,
I'll
cool.
come-
So you have time to talk to somebody? If you know there's someone here to talk to you, and from behind you, you guys hear a voice. That's quite all right, Chet. I'll take it from here. And you guys turn, and Ambrose Pierce, the head of the Obsidian Order, the heir of Merlin, is standing about 12 years old in a very sharp black suit. And he goes, "Miss Malik, I believe we have some conversations to have." And that is where we end.
Oh my god!
wow,
We ain't sleeping. We ain't
Because
sleeping.
the
I know.
magic vision spell Fiona cast last episode had the tag of unwelcome immediate attention. They have been looking for people who have been triggering their wards on old properties, and they thought it was the shade. It was actually Fiona. And then now that she's been casting more spells, they were able to pinpoint it. And now HR from your old job has just shown up.
I can explain.
Yeah, you're like, so about back pay, how does that work?
You're gonna have to sign so many documents.
So like
No.
they've
All
actually
your
got it down to like a
receipts.
single form now. It's really easy. This happens
Yeah.
all the time. Thank you for watching the Duke City Chronicles. We're so glad you could join us. And please go ahead and call our winner right now. From !critical. Congratulations to our winner. Please get us in the Discord, get me in the Discord, and I'll send you out those dice as the winning prize. And but yeah, guys, thank you so much for watching. Please join us next week, Friday, 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific, or 4 p.m. in the Mountain Time Zone where we are. But until then, Albuquerque is a weird place. Let's keep it that way. Bye.